My name is Big, and I live in my 2011 BMW. Now let me tell you the story of how not only am I being stalked by Christopher Maurice Brown, otherwise known as Cokehead Brown, and having my life fucked with by him, keeping me from working and whatnot, but also that my life was fucked with by another celebrity well before 2020. And that celebrity's name is Chilli Thomas. That's right, Chilli from TLC. And her little bitch ass sidekick, Tion, otherwise known as T-Boz. So, let me just set this mood for you. I am not a people person at all. I don't like people because people are full of shit. I prefer my own company. That's right, I prefer being alone. All by myself. I prefer to be by myself. So, you can take this video with a grain of salt if you wish. You can take it as seriously as it actually is. I really don't care. But I want you to know the mood that I'm in right now. Because I'm sitting here in my BMW with little money left, having to contemplate whether or not I want to contact my family again. And there's one particular family member in mind who just does not believe that I'm actually being stalked and I'm being kept from working. No matter how many times I've told her, she just does not believe a fucking word that I say on my goddamn mouth. And the fact that I'm making all these videos and I actually had to make a fucking TikTok to get people to pay attention and to actually go over to my YouTube channel should speak volumes in itself. But okay. On with the story. So back in 2012 or 2013, now some of you guys can do some research on this because I'm not sure the year exactly, but it would have been around 2012 or 2013. And this video is going to be kind of long, so it's going to be probably broken up into 3 or 4 segments automatically by my digital camera. Okay, my camera does it on its own. Back in 2012 or 2013, TLC had this contest in which they were trying to get their biggest fans to submit entries to a contest in which they can get their names put on their album. I think the name of the album was called Fan Mail. And I heard about this album and I was so stoked. I was so excited. I really was excited. And I wanted to submit entries because I loved Left Eye. I loved Left Eye. She's like the craziest one of the group. And she was gone by now. By now she had already passed. But she was the wise one in the group, and she kind of reminded me of me. She seemed impulsive, but I don't think she was as impulsive as she seemed. I think that she thought out things, and then she did them, but they looked like they were wild and just in the moment. Even though probably some of them were in the moment, and some of them probably were thought out, and that's kind of how I make my moves. It looks like I'm doing things just out of blue, like this girl just went berserk. But I thought about that shit. There's been times when I blacked the fuck out. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Broken English intentional. I totally have blacked out quite a few times and done crap and not remember what the hell I did or why I did it. But I loved Left Eye. I thought she was the coolest thing ever, and I like TLC in general. So I wanted to be a part of this contest. So I wrote down the contest entry, the entry address. Okay, the sweepstakes address. And I said, I'm going to enter this shit. And at the time, I was not working. So I had little money. I had money, but I had money to pay my bills. I had to keep my bills going, you know. And I thought about how the hell I was going to stand out and how many entries I wanted to send in for this contest. And I was like, well, maybe I'll do one a week. I'll do 1 entry a week. That'll be enough. Or maybe I'll do 2 entries a week. I'm not sure. So I think the first entry I sent in, I think it was a letter. I think it was a letter. I either thought about sending a letter and was like, nah, and ripped it up. Or I think I did send a letter and I was like, this is not going to make me stand out. This is not going to make me stand out at all. And I think I wrote on the letter, or I did some cutouts and put it on the letter so it could stand out, I think. I'm not sure. But I said, no, this is not going to make me stand out, because everybody and their mama is going to send them a goddamn envelope. I said, I need to do something more creative than this. I know I'm more creative than this. So I was thinking and thinking and thinking. And I said, I know what I can do. I can get those old Tower Record, okay, those old Tower Record postcards. Now, if you don't know who Tower Records is, they are a music company, a music store. They used to sell CDs, vinyl. Yes, they sold vinyl. They sold sheet music. They had a little small porn section in the back, and you can buy porn CDs, DVDs, I mean, all kinds of stuff. But it was basically music, okay, music focused. They went out of business a long time ago. And before they went out of business at this location on the East Coast called Willow Lawn Mall, I went there and I took a crap load of their postcards because everything had to go. So I had these postcards and I put them in my mom's storage unit, our family storage unit, because it has everybody's crap in it. Mine, my half brother's stuff in there, her stuff. Okay, my mom had this storage unit. She's had it for a long time because we didn't have a garage, so you use it as a garage. So you throw everything in there. So I had to get to the storage unit to get these postcards. Now, mind you, my mom had moved her storage unit to another unit, physical unit, because the one she had originally, it rained in there. So there was rain damage and crap, and guess what got damaged? The postcards. I had them in a bucket, and they got rained in. So I said, well, I'm still going to use them. They're good. I'll just make a notation on the postcard that that's water damage, so they won't get freaked out, because it kind of looked kind of funky looking, you know. So that's what I do. I send a postcard, and I think I put on there, I use color pencils and everything, and I put pick me, pick me, pick me on it, right? And I send it off. And I think I sent another one, and it was like the same thing, but I think I put on there something like, oh, Tian, your tendrils are so bomb, something like that. You know, tendrils as in her sideburns, you know, when she's have those long sideburns. Pick me, pick me, pick me. And I put that on there, right? And I'm drawing on there and whatnot. And something tells me, you know what, stop doing this, because I doubt that they're going to see it. They have fans all over the freaking world. They're not going to see this crap. They're absolutely not going to see it. So just go ahead and stop. And plus, I was like, I'm using my hard-earned little money that I really don't have to spend, even though it's probably, I think post office stamps were probably like 50 cents back then. This is 2012, 2013. I said, I'm not going to be spending my money sending this crap off. And plus, they're not even going to see it. It's going to be lost in the sea of goddamn entries, and I'm never going to get picked, because I never get picked for crap. So I said, I'm not going to do it. So in the meantime, my baby half cousin, this is my half aunt, my mom's half sister. My mom has one half sister. They're between 10 and 15 years apart in age. And my half aunt, I'm staying with her because I've relocated from the Southwest temporarily. It's supposed to be temporarily, and she lets me stay there. So I'm not working, and I had the money that I had before from when I was working in the Southwest, when I used to work at Chase Tower and whatnot. Okay, so my half cousin, my half aunt has 3 children. She has a daughter, a son, and another daughter. Okay, and her daughter, I call her the baby because she's like, I think 10 years difference between her sister, her oldest sister, okay, her sister, her only sister, her sister and her, I think there's like 10 years difference, age difference between them, right? Okay, so my half aunt's daughter, I'm gonna call her the baby, asked me what I was doing when I submitted my first entry. I told her I'm gonna enter in that contest. I'm gonna enter in this TLC contest in which their biggest fans can get their names put on this album. And so she asked me what I was doing, and I told her that, and I submitted off my entries. So her being a little bitch, because let me set the tone for this, my half aunt never liked me. My half aunt has never ever in her life liked me. She's always hated me, and I never particularly cared for her. I tolerated her, but she's always hated me. So her kids, I don't know what she said to her kids, but her kids didn't particularly like me either. Okay, I don't know what poison she put in their heads, but they didn't care for me either, which I didn't give a fuck about. Okay, so this one day, my baby half cousin, let's call her Kidada, because that's short for her name, right? That's a nickname I gave her based off of her real name. So my baby half cousin Kidada, I say to her, she says to me one day, "Hey, what's the address to that contest?" I said, "What contest?" She said, "The TLC contest." I said, "Why? You're not a TLC fan." She said, "I want to enter it." I said, "No, I'm not giving." I said, "No, you're not a TLC fan. Get the fuck out of here. You're not a TLC fan. That's not your day. They're not from your day." She said, "Yeah, I really want to enter it. I really do. What's the address?" So I give it to her. I said, "All right, fine." So I give her the address. Unbeknownst to me, this little bitch sends a letter to TLC's fan club talking mad shit about me. Do I know exactly what was said? No. The only person who knows that would be one, TLC's assistant at the time, because he or she, probably a guy, or probably the person responsible for going through all those entries, right? And then there's Chilli herself, and this is important. You need to know this because she holds the key to a lot of this stuff, and she is the main person who's responsible for, again, keeping me from working. Now, I need to set this tone a little bit more. I should have stated this in the beginning. Whether you guys know this or not, around 2012 or 2013, Usher Raymond and Chilli got back together. That song, "There Goes My Baby," is about Chilli. Okay? If you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about Chilli. And this is important because this is one of the key factors, I think, as to why Chilli was fucking with my life. Alright? So, Chilli, so my half cousin sends this entry off, and I believe she's talking mad shit about me. This is why. It will come later. It'll come up later in the story. So, my little half cousin Kidada, she says to me one day, this is around the time I got a job through a temp agency. So I'm working and everything, and she asked me, "Am I still submitting entries to the TLC contest?" I said, no, because I don't think they're reading this crap. I don't think they're reading it. She said, you should do it. You should really do it. You really should do it. You should keep doing it. I said, "Man, I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know. I might." So there is an interview I see that Tion and Chilli do. I think it was with Entertainment Tonight, and I wish I had it. And I see it online, and they talk about Chilli is talking primarily. She was talking about this contest they had, and how their fans were submitting entries. And she said, our fans are submitting entries, and they're even, those old Tower Record postcards. They have those, and they're submitting them. And I'll get pissed. I'm looking at the screen like, what the fuck? Did this chick actually say this crap, bro? Did she actually just blow up my freaking technique, my whole fan technique? What's going to happen? Now, everybody and their mama is going to start sending postcards in to try to stand out. I did that as a way to stand out from a sea of letters, from a sea of envelopes. And she just blew up my spot. I was pissed. Like, why would she say this? What the hell? And then she said it in the same interview. Our fans, they would submit entries, and they would send like one or two, and they would just give up. We really are getting these entries, really are getting these letters. So don't give up. Just keep sending the letters. So I'm pissed. I'm really pissed now. Around the time I'm working now, and I'm tired from working, and I get to my half aunt's house, and I'm tired. I want to eat, sleep. That's all I really want to do. And she goes, my baby half cousin Kidada, she goes, "Are you submitting those entries to TLC? Their contest?" I said, "No, I'm not doing it. I don't think I'm going to do it." She said, "You really should do it. You really should do it." The second time she tells me, "You really should do it. Keep doing it." I said, "I'm not doing that." Because at first I thought they weren't getting them. She said, "They are getting them." I said, "Yeah, I saw an interview, and Chilli told people," I said, "I thought they weren't getting them, but Chilli told people in an interview that they're getting them, and that they're getting those Tower Record postcards that I was sending off. You remember those? You saw me do it, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, because she saw me physically write out what I was doing. She said, why are you, what is this pick me stuff, and what are you doing? And I told her at the time that I was trying to get in this contest. I was trying to get picked so I can have my name put on their album. And so she tells me the second time, keep doing it, they're getting them, just do it. I said, I don't think I want to do it because she blew up my freaking spot. Now everybody and their mom is going to send these postcards off. She said, well, you still keep doing it. I said, I don't know, man, I'll think about it. I might just send one more, I don't know. So one day I get home from work and the phone is ringing as usual. At my half aunt's house, the phone always rings. Somebody's always calling to speak to her ass. But here's the thing, she never answers the phone. They never answer the goddamn phone. I don't even care if it's my grandma, who is my half aunt's mother. She and my mother, my half aunt and my mom share a mother. That's how they are tied. And like I said, they're 10 to 15 years apart in age. I think they're closer to 15 years apart in age. And she never answers the goddamn phone. She has a caller ID, baby, and she uses that baby to the hilt. She uses that bad boy like no other that I've ever seen. If you call that household, please believe your phone call is being screened. If she doesn't want to talk to you, who is that on the caller ID? Don't answer the phone. She'll tell her kids not to answer the phone. If it's a phone number she doesn't recognize, who is that? I don't know who that is. Let it go to voicemail. Let it go to voicemail. I'm not answering it. And if it's somebody that she knows, but she doesn't want to talk to them, I'm not answering it. Let it go to voicemail. I don't feel like being bothered. She never feels like being bothered. She doesn't do shit all day, but she never felt like being bothered back in 2012, 2013. But okay. So the phone rings, and I'm like, and you will hear the phone, it will ring and ring and ring, and you're just like, what the fuck? Somebody answer the goddamn phone. They'll let it go straight to voicemail until it stops ringing. So the phone rings and rings, and I get up. I said, I'm gonna answer the goddamn phone because I can't stand it. And my grandmother would be so happy that I was there because she knew that if I was there, I would answer the phone. Because she'll call and call and call, and they'll say, oh, it's mama. You know, that's what they call my grandma. That's what she calls my grandma. Her and my mom call her mama. And they'll say, it's mama. You know, and the kids would say, it's grandma. And she would say, don't answer the phone. But if I'm there and I see it, I'll answer the phone. So I look, I can't stand it. You know, I'm off from work, I'm tired, and I hear this goddamn phone ringing and ringing. So I go and I look at the call ID, and I don't really know any better. I just answer the phone. So I answer it, and it's someone asking to speak with my baby half cousin, Kidada. So I say, Kidada, telephone. And she looks like, I said, it's somebody for you. I don't know. Here, take the phone. So I give her the phone, and all I hear through the other side, through the receiver, is, you know, that was a really mean thing you said about your cousin. And I leave the room. I don't know what all that was about, but I leave the room because I'm tired. So after that right there, that phone call right there, I believe was Chilli on the phone. Okay. And if you ask me, why didn't you recognize her voice? Chilli has this very generic voice. Chilli has a voice like, it could be like anybody. It could be somebody from the goddamn welfare office. It could be somebody from the goddamn power company, a bill collector. It could be anybody. She has a very generic fucking voice, over the phone at least. So you don't know who the fuck it is, okay? So I go off to another room. I go eat, whatever. Okay. I get home again. I'm tired, and the phone rings again. Nobody answers the phone. As a matter of fact, nobody's there to answer the phone because I'm all by myself. All by myself. I love to be by myself. So I'm by myself in the house, and I answer the phone.